Welcome to episode 52 of Pineapples and Thorns. I'm Kat, and today Peter is with me. Welcome, Peter.
Hello, Kat. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Great, thank you.
Feeling like it's almost spring. The sun is shining. The snow is glistening.
No sun here, but we're just at freezing, so it's not unbearable.
Excellent. And today with us we have two special guests, Lolly and Vodka Soda, both co-leaders at Redthorn. Welcome, guys.
Hi.
Thank you.
Peter, you want to take us right into CFF news?
I sure do. Next weekend, so today is the 12th of March. Next weekend, the 18th of March. Maybe it's the 19th of March. We're running the Town Hall 15 Royal Rumble. So that means sign up for the Town Hall 15. It'll be a 1v1 tournament. Generally, people roll for a position, and then it's just a 1v1. Winner moves on, loser exits. Well, we hope you stay and watch everyone else's attacks. They've been a lot of fun. We haven't had a Town Hall 15 one yet. We just finished Town Hall 14, and we think, who is it? I think it's Yoda that is the defending champion at Town Hall 14 from the previous generation when we were the max Town Hall 14. So I think he's going to have to defend his title, which is kind of exciting. If you haven't signed up for that, there's still time.
Yeah, it's getting quite a few signups.
Lots of us have moved to Town Hall 15, so I think there should be a lot of people that'll be in that. Be a hard one to win.
Definitely.
We had the Trojan War with Phoenix Reloaded hosting. That was last weekend again. I unfortunately did not get to actually participate in the Trojan War part of it. I had to attack early. I can't remember what I was doing, but I was not around when the war actually ended. But as always, there are lots of fun. Chaos in the last hour.
Yep.
Were you in that one, Kat?
A lot. Yeah. I had two armies queued up and went in, and it was lots of fun. It's always fun to see people attacking, and Carl from C2J streamed the end of that, so that was chaos for him to try and capture the different attacks.
I heard him talking about it on his podcast that, he would jump away from one that he didn't think was going to triple, only to find out they tripled later and catching flack for it. That's exactly. a tough life.
Yeah.
So are you one of those people that attack immediately once the 1 hour mark hits, or did you wait to kind of see the map explode with, the clashing swords?
After waiting 23 hours, I was like, okay, let's do this.
Yeah, okay. I thought you might be that person. 1 minute and you would go.
Yeah.
VS, were you in that one?
Yeah, I was there. Unfortunately, where it fell with the 1 hour was like kind of, crunch time around the house. There was a lot going on, so I wasn't able to watch the stream. I wasn't really able to watch a lot of attacks, and I was barely able to really plan a lot for mine. But I did get the attacks in the correct time frame, so I checked the box, and I mean we were outmatched anyways. It was going to take a lot. I mean, I think it was talked about another podcast maybe, but they were that clan we came up against was really good. They had I don't know, it was a 50 and 40, and they had maybe 18 triples on the board when we started making our push or something like that.
Yeah.
So they were really tough.
Were you in that one, Lolly?
No, it doesn't really matter. My time zone kind of clashes with those type of events. I don't really fancy getting up in the middle of the night to fit two attacks. Sorry.
It's hard to explain, isn't it? What are you doing up? Well,
yeah. I can imagine my husband going, "What the hell are you doing?" No, I haven't tried that one. No, but I have taken part in one before, and it was fun. But I remember trying to get the second attack in, and every time I pressed attack, somebody else was already going.
Oh no! Right? Yes.
Yeah. So, and I think I was one of the lower town halls. So, yeah. But I don't even know if I got the second attack in the end, because there was nothing left to attack. So, but they are good. They are good fun.
And it's neat getting everybody online at once.
Yeah, and especially if you're on voice, all you can hear is literally everyone going a bit bonkers. So, yeah,
right,
it is fun.
Right. And then I guess upcoming events, we have the Rated really closing in on Win 400. I forgot to look before we jumped on, but I think maybe could be less than a month now, depending on their how well they progress. And Redthorn is also closing in on War Win 600, which is a huge milestone.
Yeah.
Whoop, whoop.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And it looks like we won that last one hands down. So today hopefully we'll just continue that trend.
That was so good, that war. I like wars like that.
Especially on the heels of SCCWL, where Anyway, we'll talk about that later. But yes.
Yeah.
What else is going on? Knob had a Town Hall 12 tournament in the C2J server. Both VS and Kat were participating.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't there, so maybe you could fill us in, Kat.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Lots of great attacks, and VS beat me twice in a row. so
Nothing personal.
Oh man, I think I one star on both my attacks on you. So, but it would end up being Cool Rick versus you in the final.
Yeah, it was a good match. There was a lot of good players. It was run really smooth. This is the third time we've done it. Every time it's gotten more streamlined and takes less time and just more action and less waiting. And yeah, it was really good. I got on the last two, so there's a lot of eyes on me, and I got knocked down to the losers bracket in my second match, I think, by Fatal. It was his first one in, first time playing, and then I clawed and scratched through the losers bracket. I beat Fatal the second time we played, which is nice redemption. I think I beat him by we both tripled. I think I beat his time by like a couple seconds or something. It was like a nail biter. So I got through the losers bracket, made it back to the finals against Cool Rick, and so he had to bracket. So I had to win twice. He only had to win once. I won the first one against him. I can't remember if I tripled or if I won on percentage. I don't know, but I won the first one. The second one we tied on percentage. I think exactly 92%, which I've never seen that happen in one of these tournaments, so that was cool. So I offered to give him the win because he had troops left on the board and I didn't, but he said he wanted to go again, so we went a third time and he won on percentage. So I was dethroned by Cool Rick, but he's a good player, so
he's usually Queen Charge Lalo, right?
No, I don't think in this. I wasn't watching all the attacks because I was, you're planning and hitting. It's pretty fast paced, especially this one. But I don't remember what he was using. Maybe some hybrid, I feel like.
Okay. And what were you using?
I used either Zap Witches I'll use if I can, which is good for some bases, makes it real easy and also quick, which time matters in those tournaments frequently. But if the base doesn't work for that and it's a little more like tricky pathing, I'll do Queen Charge Hybrid.
Okay. I'm slowly working my way back to having a Town Hall 12, so I look forward to playing in one of those.
I think 12 like kind of like 9 used to be. 12 to me feels like that. Like if you compare 12 to 15, it's kind of like 9 was to like, I don't know, 11 or 12 so many years ago. It's just like a simplified little version of the game, but it's still really engaging and fun.
Yes, I hear exactly what you're saying. I'm trying to teach myself Lalo starting at Town Hall 9. Now at Town Hall 10. So yes, I understand what you're saying. It's simplified. You can kind of get those moving parts under control. Sons of Guns is running a Town Hall 15 5v5 tournament. So this is teams made up from each Clash Files family, plus Sons of Guns has 2 teams in, Alpha and Beta. Phoenix Reloaded has a team in there called Bonsai Lemmings. Shout out to the Aussies for a great name. Noble Hero also has a team in, and Red Thorns' contribution is Magnus Hates Everything. So that's been fun. You guys the Red Thorn team had a bye this week.
Mm-hmm.
I ended up on the Phoenix Reloaded Bonsai Lemmings team. We played Noble Hero, and we won on stars 10-9. Town Hall 15 is tough when you just, one shot at that base. It's a little different format than the Friday night fights we used to do with the C2J. This is a couple of hour war, so there's no real pressure. Nobody's streaming them at the moment. So it's a little bit more free flow. No real rush to get your CCs filled, an hour prep, and then a 2-hour war. They've been fun. It was good hanging out with the guys.
I heard that Whip had an amazing triple in your win.
Yes, he did a Super Archer blimp into hero dive with super minion kind of support. It was a lot of moving parts. It was really, really, really well executed.
Yeah, I'd like to have seen that one.
I think. No, I don't think anybody recorded it. Nobody in there. But a couple of guys asked for the comp after.
Nice.
Including Ace. Ace is going to be a backup guy there. So next, SOG Beta will play the Bonsai Lemmings. No, we'll play you guys. We'll play the Red Thorn team, and then Bonsai Lemmings gets the winner of that the following week.
Nice.
Yeah. So, fun little tournament.
Yeah, looking forward to it. So for our guests now, for our listeners who probably, you've been on the pod before, but some people haven't heard your stories in previous episodes. So you want to tell us a little bit about yourselves, what town halls you play, how did you get into Clash of Clans, and your brief Clash history, and give us an idea how you found your way to Red Thorn. Lolly?
Okay. Well, I downloaded the game, not long after it came out. Never played online mobile games before, so thought I'd give it a go. Thought it would probably be a 5-minute wonder, but I think how many years later am I still playing this game? So yeah, I think the first clan I ended up in was like full of kids. Nobody really talked, and you kick, people would come and go. And I just thought, I don't think I'm going to stick at this. Then I found a better clan, which was more adults, and I was with them for quite some time. I kind of started my own clan from that, which was quite successful, but it kind of burnt me out after a while. So I moved on to Majarian Army, which I was with for quite some time. So we achieved quite a few things with them. We were with EYG for a bit. Once we moved on from EYG, I think we joined forces with CFF. So in my travels around CFF, meeting all the different clans, came across RT. I kind of needed a bit of a change at that point in the game, and so I've ended up in Red Thorn, and I really enjoy it.
Awesome.
So that's kind of my history.
Yes, how about you?
I'd had a gaming background. I'm like pushing 40 now, so I'd grown up with NES, and I'd played some like RPGs over the years, and console stuff, Halo stuff, this and that, gaming over the years. And then I'd stop playing like anything. Didn't have a console. It wasn't never played mobile games, but it was a classic story where some people at my work had the game, and they needed one more person to join the clan so they could do Clan Wars, which were brand new at the time. So I guess I don't know what year that would have made it, like 12 or so. And I joined to round out their clan, and then they were all super casual and didn't play much longer. And then I, like everything I do in my life, got obsessed and dove in, with both speed and was learning everything I could about the game. And then simultaneously, I learned that my really close real life friend who I'd grown up with had also been playing the game. His name was Goblin Slayer. A lot of people probably have heard him. He was around for a long time in the CFF, and so he and I, had the in real life thing where we were kind of both gamer types, and so we I think joined a couple clans, and then we found the CFF. And this is back in the early CFF days, and certainly the early podcast days, the original podcast and Clash Files podcast, and like Natasha was still on and stuff when we started listening when we joined, and joined them. We were in K Farmhouse 2.0 for a while. Then we wanted something like a little more war focused, so we started the Rated, he and I, and we did that for many years, and it was great. And then I left the game after a few years of the Rated and was away for nearly 4 years, and then I just came back a few years ago and ended up in Red Thorn, and yeah, it's been great. And just kind of seeing how much the game's matured and how much more there is to it than when I left. It's been cool being back.
Awesome. Oh, we're glad you came back. So I have a few questions, just, sort of there's some of them are a little fun. So just feel free to, to have fun with them, be imaginative on some of them. Some of our listeners probably want to know, how did you come up with your account names? Lolly?
Didn't put a whole lot of thought into it at the time because I didn't expect to be playing it for this long. So, I could have come up with something really cool, but I didn't. It was just a nickname that I had from school, and I couldn't think of anything else at the time. I should have given myself something much more glamorous, really, but no, just Lolly.
Yeah, I have nothing but admiration for people who get super creative with their game names. And
exactly. Well, my other account's called Miss Lethal, so
I like that one. Yeah,
I had a little bit more. I put a little bit more thought into that one. Yeah.
Yes. How about you?
Yeah, same. My name is like it's Vodka Soda. It's like not the name I would have picked for a game that I knew I was going to be playing for like more than a decade. But it was the guys at work who got me to play. Were all I'm down in North Carolina, and these are kind of good old boy types, and they all drank beer and whiskey and stuff. And when we'd go to the bar, I would drink vodka soda, which I pretty normal drink, just vodka and soda and lime. But they would make fun of me for drinking it and act like it was a real sissy drink and stuff. So I just trying to be funny and self-deprecating when I made my account. I just named it vodka soda, and I've thought about changing it over the years, but like so many people know me like that, and so it is what it is,
Cool. What favorite town hall do you like to play? Because I know both of you have alternate accounts, so do you prefer one over the other, Lolly?
I don't know. I think I was thinking about this. I think I quite enjoyed Town Hall 13. There were quite a few different types of attacks that you could use. Yeah, and with Lethal, she's got to Town Hall 13, but I haven't really used it in War. But I quite enjoyed Town Hall 12 because you could basically just throw witches and golems, nice golems, and like completely trash the base, and without having too much skill and thought. And I quite like that on my little account. So nice. You kind of need a break because Town Hall 15 is extremely challenging.
Yes.
Yes, we've all had our trials and tribulations there.
Yeah. Yeah.
VS, how about you?
Yeah, I just have my 12 and my 15, and I have a really small 9 that I don't log on to. But I mean, 12's fun, but it's really not where the game is for me. I mean, of my 2 accounts, I prefer my 15, obviously, but my favorite town hall was 14. I do imagine that Kermit the Frog meme, when he's like looking out the rainy window, and like sometimes I do sit and long for Town Hall 14. I hate to be that guy, but Town Hall 15 is fun, but it's so hard. It's such a slog, and it's just sometimes it feels like everything goes right and it still doesn't work, and that can be frustrating to your psyche.
For sure. So what's your favorite Town Hall 15 army composition and why, VS?
Well, we know what Lolly's is.
You saying unpredictable.
Oh, no. My favorite is probably Blizzard. I love Lalo, any kind of, and the only kind that I'm good enough to sometimes get right at 15 is Blizzard Lala, like the stars kind of formula with the 5 freezes and standard Blizzard. That's my favorite attack. I've had some success with that in Legends, and then when we're up against like average clans, I can get that going. But I've complained about this to Kat, and I know other people like on voice, like 15 is like, if you're up against average base building, you can get some stuff going. You can have some like Blizzard Lala success. And when you go up against really good clans and the base building gets smart, and these guys are defending against all these meta attacks like Blizzard Lala and the like, it gets so hard to succeed, for me at least. I mean, you have to be thinking on so many levels to succeed. So when the bases get really good, I'll usually resort to a Super Blimp Titan smash, which you can still triple sometimes, or at least get a good high percentage to start with.
Lolly, how about you?
Super Bowlers, Warden Walk Super Bowlers. I've been doing that for probably most of 15 now. I have tried other stuff. I recently tried the Titans, but I found them too unpredictable. And bowlers, I know what I'm doing. I spend all day in Legends doing it every day. I keep trying to switch away from it because I'm thinking everyone thinks I'm a bit predictable. But they are reliable, and when you're in Legends, it's kind of a one army fits all, and I can generally get the 2 stars at least. But yeah, it is frustrating, definitely. I don't find it very easy to learn a different strategy. As you get older, it definitely gets more difficult to take on different. Like everyone goes, "Oh, you should have 2 different strategies for war," but my brain can't cope with 2 strategies, so it's one that's a little bit adapt. I always plan, and I will take different troops dependent on the base, but generally I use the same setup, and I don't know how they use all these different type of sieges and stuff. When you watch them in Legends, the top guys, when they're using Super Bowlers, the way they can just like go, oh, I'm going to use a blimp this base, I'm going to use a flinger this space, and then I don't know how they do that. Log launcher, it's a flinger or nothing for me.
Yeah, those top guys like to use those log launchers with the bowlers, which is it's really hard. It's so much harder than it looks.
It really is. I've tried it, and then I've gone, oh god, that was a bad idea. But yeah, it's so frustrating, and I think because people have got into the thing of putting all the expos on ground, and so you're kind of looking at this base thinking, oh my goodness, where am I going to put this flinger? But yeah, I get around it, but it's really hard.
Well, it is a strong army comp.
It really is, and I think that's why I keep coming back to it, because it is still one of the best armies that you can use in the game if you're on ground.
For sure.
Because most things, I've seen a couple of the guys using the witches in CWL, and they seemed to work on certain bases for sure. So it's nice when I am a ground person. I don't do air ever.
So if you could be any troop in the game, what would it be and why? Lolly?
Okay, I was having to think about this as well, and had a quick look through all of the descriptions for the troops, and I quite like the description for the sneaky goblins. It says sneaky goblins have a talent for going unnoticed for a while after after being deployed. So I kind of thought, actually, going unnoticed that's more my thing. I don't know whether anyone agrees with me though. But yeah, kind of, I like to be in the background, but I do like to do well. I do like to do well. So I thought it was quite funny actually. It's usually the incredibly loud sound of resources being pilfered that gives them away.
Yes, how about you?
I'll say something I said last time, which is a hog. It's just like the most fun-loving troop in there. He's always laughing, and he's also like the most iconic class troop, So it's just like he's the guy.
He is. Probably, It's one of the strangest troops in the game.
Yeah, it's so unique and so iconic, and the hog rider call, is like so iconic. It's just
So let's turn to Clan Capital. Do you guys still enjoy it? And why or why not? Vodka?
I don't love it. I don't hate it. I love the rewards like we all do. I've never really found it to be all that dynamic. I do like the Skelly spell. The mass Skelly spell makes it like more likely I'm going to do all my hits every week because it's a little faster, and it is kind of fun, and I don't know, visually rewarding or something. But I'm just meh on the whole Clan Capital thing. I don't hate it. I don't have any animosity towards it, but it doesn't get any of my attention. I've never watched a single YouTube video on like strategy or anything like that, which is unlike me. I watch plenty of that stuff for main base, so it's just never really had my attention.
Yeah. Do you think it just has not turned into what Supercell envisioned for it?
Yeah, I'd say that it's been talked about, but yeah, like the whole group dynamic, getting on voice, planning. I do this, then you do that. That hasn't materialized, and the gameplay in general, I just don't know if any of the strategies that I'm aware of, and I'm definitely not the one who's aware of all of it, but has ended up being dynamic the way, Red Thorns up. We're max town hall, right? I mean, we're right up there. We're at end game. We're at end game play, and I don't know of a strategy that is at all as dynamic, as difficult, as challenging, or as stimulating as a Wallow, as a Super Bowler hit, as a hybrid. Any of the real attacks that get us hooked in main base. I'm not aware of anything like that in Clan Capital. I could be wrong, but it doesn't seem nearly as engaging to me.
No, I think you're right. Lolly? What do you think?
Yeah, I kind of agree with yes. I have discovered the mass Skelly thing, and I quite enjoy the challenge of getting a base cleared in 2 hits rather than 3. So that's my challenge at Clan Capital. But yeah, it's a bit of it's kind of, I don't know, say a letdown. It's just doesn't really. there doesn't seem a huge amount of skill to
sure.
it. It literally is just spamming some troops and seeing what you can get. But VS definitely has covered most of the things that I agree with him on that.
What are each of you using with the graveyard spell?
I do I think maybe the most typical one, which is like the graveyard, the 32 bombers, and then super wizards.
Yeah, the same.
I tried the hogs, and I think I tried the super, the rocket balloons, and they were fun to watch, but I didn't seem to have as much success, like clearing a basin too.
Yeah,
I've been enjoying the hogs. I think you just have to trickle them in more, so you kind of engage longer, which I needed.
So if you guys could ask Supercell to do one thing in the game right now, what would it be and why? Lolly?
I think certainly with Clan Capital changing the bases, at one point I was trying to make sure they were kept kind of up to date, but it's just such hard work when you've got that many bases that you can't copy like you do in main base. And so I'm amazed that we've made it to Champs 2 with the base designs that we have, because there really aren't that much in the way of design, but they're clearly holding their own. But, if you do want to change them, then it's quite hard work. So that would be really helpful if they introduce that too.
For sure. VS, how about you?
It's still the super troop situation, so bad. And you guys talked to Darian about it, and he was receptive. He clearly kind of acknowledged it wasn't ideal, but his solution was like, I think if I recall correctly, it was like something like shorter timers or something. But the whole timer thing to me is just frustrating. To me, it should be in war and in Legends or wherever you are in the game, just like it is in friendly war, and that is to say you can use 2 super troops in any army, but the max is 2, but you don't have to unlock them. There's no period of time or what, and it has nothing to do with cost. The 25,000 dark is so nominal. It's just about flexibility of gameplay. I won't be satisfied with that part of the game. I won't think it's right until it's the way I just described it, which is basically any 2 can be used at any time. It's just a max of 2 in any army. It's just as simple as that. That's the way it should be. Because and just to expound a little bit further, as I've gotten to 15, one thing I will say Supercell definitely got right, in my opinion, with 15 is, I think it's a little too hard, but I think it was talked about that part of the aim was to get people to be more dynamic with their army selection, and that you couldn't just use one army for every single base if you were really good. And I think that's true. So I am more diverse with my attacks. Like I'll use some sneaky gob, like dragon stuff. I'll use some Lalo when I can. I'll use some like Hydra. I'll use Titans. But if you want the game to be more dynamic and the army selection to be more dynamic, you have to give people the option to choose whatever they want. I would love to try Super Bowlers again on certain bases in war, but I would never unlock them. I haven't unlocked them in probably 6 months or a year. It's just such a bad system, if you ask me. If you want to promote diversity of armies.
Yeah, it would be really nice to have that option, because like you say, in friendly wars, you can just pick whatever super troop is right for the base that you're looking at. Whereas the way they have it set up right now is they're forcing you to use a super troop in a regular random spin. So it may not be the right troop for that base.
And especially with the whole removing of cost for cooking armies, I think that goes hand in hand with removing the timers. Like, let's just make these armies easy and quick to cook of any different kind. And that's why you're going to get your players using all different, the most different kinds of troops, which is going to keep them the most engaged and give them the most variety of gameplay, and hopefully retain players longer and have your players that are playing engage more. Just seems that it would achieve all the goals that any game developer would have.
Yeah, seems like common sense, right?
And I don't know what the benefit is of the whole 3-day lock. I'm sure there's got to be one, but I just don't know what it would be.
What is your most hated defense in the game, or most liked defense? BS?
I hate the tornado trap. because I do a lot of blimps, and I hate getting baited by a tornado trout. There's like nothing else in Clash like watching your blimp get caught, right before you need it to get over a wall, or it's so frustrating and maddening.
I hear you. Lolly?
I hate the monolith. It's just too overpowered for my liking. Your troops get anywhere near it and they're just wiped out. Yeah, I take a skelly spell purposefully for the mono now, especially on ground. So yeah, it's just I hate it. Hate it.
Not nice to your bowlers, that's for sure.
No, and you watch people with the Titans as well, and it's like 1, 2, 3 gone. That's it. Especially if they're smashing up against a wall.
Right.
Yeah. So at least with the bowlers, they've got the 3 bounce. But I think that's kind of why I gave up with the Titans, because if they get stuck on a wall and just near the mono, you just watch them disappear. Yeah.
Stand in the light. What do you think that your greatest achievement in Clash might be, Lolly?
Probably quite recently, winning the top legend league hitter.
Hey, yeah,
CFL.
that's right.
Congratulations! Yes.
I've been working on that for a long time, but you keep going. I'm probably a bit obsessed with legends. I'm not brilliant, but I keep going, and I woke up that next because I go to bed before everyone else. And so I'm never quite sure what everyone else is doing. And I was like, oh my goodness, I've made it. Nobody beat me at last. And I sometimes I check where I am on the UK leaderboard. And I think I got to 65 that day as well. So yeah, I've said to my husband, 65 in the UK, Well, he's like, yeah. I was thinking that's quite an achievement.
I did.
There's quite a lot of players in the UK, I think.
Definitely. Yes, how about you?
Really proud of the rated, what we did with that back in the day for my break, but something more recent. I've never won the Legends monthly thing, so I can't. Lolly's got me top there, and that is really that's an achievement because there's a lot of good players across a lot of clans that compete.
There are a lot of good players.
It's not easy. I've never done it. But this league play, we've beaten some good clans here and there, and when we were at 14, I was pushing in Legends pretty hard, and I got into the top 10 in the US using Queen Charge Lala, which was just a real point of pride for me because I just consider that to be the kind of ultimate challenge in Clash. And at 14, I could do it, pretty good there for a while, enough to get in the top 10 in the US. So I was real proud of that.
Did you take a screenshot?
Of course, I'll post it later. I got the receipts.
You've got to have a screenshot, yeah.
I got receipts.
What is your most embarrassing moment in Clash? Yes.
That's a good question. Well, I talked about it last time I was on, but getting put on YouTube, getting trounced by the Golden Goblins years ago, like they just dumpstered us and like made fun of us when I was in this war clan and like made all these memes, like they used to, if anybody remembers Golden Goblins, they like memed us and were just like trashing us on Twitter and made a whole YouTube video about how bad they beat us. That was like a big one to take on the chin, when we thought we were like pretty good, and then we came against somebody really good. It's always something you have to go through in life sometimes. And lately, just taking 0 stars in Legends, which I do. I don't know if anybody else wants to talk about it, but I'm good for a 0 star. I'd say like twice a week, depending on the army I'm using.
Yeah, let's all come clean with it.
I've shared them in chat. I've tried to like be real about it. It happens, okay?
Yeah, for sure. Lolly, how about you? Do you have a most embarrassing moment?
Really, I haven't. Well, say embarrassing. I struggled with. I must admit during CWL, I remember planning all my attack, pressing play, attack, and dropping my queen instead of my warden.
Oh no.
for a warden walk, and having the biggest panic because I'm like going to everybody, come on, just get the 2 stars. And I had my queen at the edge of the base, and you know what she's like on a corner. You're thinking, well, which way is she going to go? So I managed to rescue that, but yeah, that yeah, it's like don't watch that, anybody. Don't watch. But I managed to just get the 2-star. I was so lucky. That's kind of it.
Do you guys have a favorite hobby or activity outside of Clash, Lolly?
Probably my, apart from kind of work, I do a lot of Pilates. I'm getting into my fitness, so I enjoy going to the gym, and I enjoy cooking and trying lots of healthy recipes and cooking for my family. So, yeah.
Nice. Yes, how about you?
I've got a 3-year-old and a 4-month-old, so the time when I had like hobbies seems far away. But I was always somebody who had a lot of hobbies until more recently. Love disc golf. We call it ball golf, Peter. In the disc golf community, we play the game you call ball golf. So I've played some ball golf. I love backpacking when I can get away, but that's just like a couple times a year usually. Trying to finish the Appalachian Trail at some point before I die. And like food and wine. I work in the wine business, but I do enjoy food and wine as a hobby too, and little bourbon as well. Trying to get
Nice.
new stuff and taste new stuff.
Nice. Peter, you want to talk about SCCWL now?
Yeah, so, kind of this is the reason I wanted you two guys on, because you've kind of been my inner circle for SCWL, Magnus included, but not today. And so this month in RT, we decided to not run the 15 in Champs 3 and Red Thorn, and we moved everybody to TGF, which was running in Masters 1, I think. Yes, Masters 1. So we were able to run 30, right? We all like to be together because it always seems to be such a letdown during SCWL week. And I think poor VS, you might have pulled your hair out a little bit that previous month. It is a lot to manage when you're having to shuffle people in and out without a schedule. Based on performance mostly, right? I mean, we try to limit the one stars.
It was easier this last month than the month before. You get more calloused quickly about these about doing it. You just got to do what you got to do and move people out and move people in, and nothing personal. We're just trying to do what's best for the team, right?
Exactly. And Kat and I had this discussion all the time, right? When you're not a maxed town hall, then the medals are more valuable, and therefore you want everyone to have the opportunity to maximize the medals, right? To get those 8 stars during the week. But if you have weaker defenses, it's harder to shift you in a Champs 3 clan, right? From a player point of view, which one do you guys prefer? Do you like having the big group, the 30 together, or do you prefer the little more competitive, but more pressure at the same time? Would you start, Lolly?
Yeah, I'm on the fence, to be honest. I enjoy the 30 because I just am more sociable and I just like having more people around. But on the other hand, I like the 15, but I am very competitive, but also on the downside, I don't like the pressure, so I can't win.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm kind of constantly stuck between. I did do the 15 in Champs 2, was it? No, or Champs 3,
Yeah,
and we promoted. Did we promote?
Oh yeah,
I can't remember.
Well, we went from 3 to 2. Yeah,
I really did enjoy it. But yeah, the whole timing thing was a complete nightmare for me. Well, it turned out in my favour because I think we had a match that took. Did it take 12 hours or something? Yeah. So I woke up in the morning and I'm like, oh, we only just matched. Everyone else has gone to bed, and that worked really well for me because I got full pick of all the bases. Which, when you're running one particular strategy, it becomes quite a thing, to make sure that you can hit a base that you're actually going to have a chance on. So, but yeah, with the 30, you're kind of relying a lot more on your teammates kind of taking as much care as you do, and some people are much more casual and some people are much more competitive. So it's balancing that, isn't it?
And you mentioned that you wanted the 30 because you like the social aspect. But
yeah.
In TGF, I found it was actually less activity. It felt like there was less people online. They would come on and make their hit, and then they'd be off again. Did you notice that same thing?
Yeah, it's hard because I don't want to kind of say the wrong thing, but sometimes I think when there are so many 1-stars. I know for me, it kind of makes me feel a bit like, oh, can't wait to get the week over with. Because I am competitive and I do like to plan my attacks. And so, I mean, 1-stars are just, sometimes you can't help it. And that town hall hangs on the tiniest little thing. And you think, oh, that poor person, is not fair. And you can see they really tried. But then, sometimes you just kind of go, oh, okay. You watch it and you think, ooh.
Yeah, what were they thinking?
Yeah. I'm trying to say the right thing here, but you know what I mean. And I think we all think it, but being such a good team, and that's what I like about our team. We, you get a frustration, but it all comes down to the team at the end of the day. We all stick together.
So next month, would you be voting that we do 15 in Red Thorn, or are we going to do 30 in TGF again?
I don't know.
Yeah.
The truth is, I've gotten Lolly pretty good. The truth is, she's miserable either way.
Oh.
Hey. If I could guarantee that the timings, that the matching would kind of happen quite quickly, then I would probably go with the 15 in Red Thorn.
Okay.
Myself, because I actually enjoy being with. I did enjoy the competition.
So the answer to that is just let you spin it when you wake up in the morning.
Yeah, Lolly's spinning, it sounds like.
That's it.
I know. I always say I'm very grateful that you consider my time zone when you spin. I always say that, don't I?
Yes. And so I really appreciate you setting the lineup for me, because that early for me is tough to jump into game at that exact moment, to set lineups, to make sure CCs are ready to be filled. So that was great. Thank you very much for this month.
No problem.
VS, which is your preference? I mean, you've been on now both sides in relatively recent memory.
Yeah, I'm a competitive type. I like that it's 15 necessarily, but I like doing in champs and the little bit more serious structure. But Red Thorn, we're a mixed type clan. I mean, by nature, and that's part of the thing I like. I mean, we accept everybody. We don't have tryouts. We don't kick people based on performance or anything like that. I've never been in a clan that does do stuff like that, but I'm sure there are, right? That's got to be how the top ones operate, where if you don't perform, you're getting the boot and stuff. And I probably wouldn't be happy in that scenario. I'm not looking for that scenario, but so the fact that we're in a clan like we are, all by choice, just means by nature we're going to have this spectrum of players. We have some pretty try-hard players, including myself, that watches a ton of YouTube and practice a lot of FCs and spend more time on our attacks. And then we have other players who are much more casual and kind of happy to kind of do the same old meta they're used to, and happy with 2CRs. And a lot of those people I love playing with, and I love being in a clan with. So it's not like there's one right way to play. And that mix we have is really easy 3 weeks of the month.
Yes.
But CWL, by definition, kind of is competitive, and the one hit thing, adds extra pressure to everybody's performance. And the league thing, the promotion, demotion, just by nature, it just steps up the competitive feel on everything. And so for that week, a clan like Red Thorn, or most other clans I've ever been in, are going to see this dynamic where certain players are going to care more, certain players are going to want to take it easier. So it just becomes tough. The 15 and 15 thing is good in theory, because you got your 15 tryhards that are more dedicated and more into serious play. You put them in Red Thorn. Then you have 15 other more casual players who more just want their medals and want to have some fun in TGF. And if it was 15 of each,
yes,
it would be an easy thing. But obviously life doesn't work like that. There's a spectrum, so you're going to have crossover. And it's just tough to make all the people happy all the time. But that being said, I do think the months we did the split, the 15 and 15, largely went pretty good. And I think people were mostly happy. And I think that on the competitive side, Red Thorn, has done pretty well in these higher leagues and held its own pretty well. And I've been really proud of the effort that everybody's made over there.
Absolutely. Kat, you actually did not participate in SCWL in either Red Thorn or TGF, excuse me. How did that week go for you? I know it was kind of lonely and quiet in RT, but
yeah, well, my 15 is max, so I didn't really need any medals. So I decided to just leave it at Red Thorn and hold lead there. And I was doing SCCWL on my other account over in the Rated and one account over in Phoenix Reloaded. So that was more than enough for me. It was quiet and it was a little bit relaxing to not have to worry about every account I had getting the attacks in during the day. So, but it was pretty empty and quiet in Redthorn for that whole week. Let me tell you,
we missed you. We definitely missed you.
I was so happy to invite you all back. I'm so glad that you all came back.
Not to mention, we all had to come back for clan capital attacks, right? We're still after those medals.
Exactly.
So, talking about SCWL and your accounts in the Rated, for example, the matchups still are somewhat disagreeable. This month, we also ran in Shiny Gemeralds for the Town Hall 13s and below out of the Rated. I don't have an account in the Rated, so maybe you could talk to that. But in Shiny Gemeralds, Outlaw brought his 15. Jeff, who has been out with some real life stuff, decided he would like to participate. So he brought his 15 to Shiny Gemeralds, and I had Zarch there. And so that really skewed the balance in our favor, those 3 15s. Now, we faced clans with more 15s. They just weren't as developed as our 3. So it was very tough for them to 3-star against us. And I'm going to say relatively easy for us to 3-star those guys' 15s. I still managed to 2-star a Town Hall 14. It's just how it goes. So what was your experience like in the Rated with your lower accounts? Did you guys get decent matchups?
It was all 15s all week. so it was a pretty rough week. We managed to get enough 13s to 15s on our side we were 2-starring, but I think we won 2 wars out of the 7. We kind of got lucky. They didn't attack all of them. So it was glad to see the end of that week, but it is what you get. I think we're in Masters 2 there, and then we've demoted to Masters 3.
Which maybe isn't bad, right? We demoted in Gemeralds the week before, or the month before, and then had I'm going to say a relatively successful week, because even our lowers, our 10s and stuff, got to hit other 10s some of the time, or undeveloped 12s. 12s are still very hard for a Town Hall 10 to do anything with. You're just really trying for a corner Town Hall that you can get to easy and then hope for percentage.
Yeah.
I wonder if SC or if Supercell could do something where it's, a limit on certain accounts. It would be very complicated for them, but I know I hear that a lot, that, they need to try and fix them matchups somehow. Darian's answer, of course, when he was on with us is, upgrade your Town Hall to get it more even. So do any of you have thoughts on what they could do for lower Town Halls?
I don't know what the solution is, but it's SCW. I mean, the matches are so bad as having a 12 and have been in the mixed matches. It's not really fun or engaging in gameplay. You can do what you said, where you lock in maybe they could have some kind of a few templates you can pick from, I don't know, like within the league system, they could have a template where you have to have 3 15s, 4 14s, whatever, and people could try to fill that. But I just don't know if there'd be enough clans that would be able to do that kind of selective account, putting these selected Town Halls in to get fair matches. I mean, that would seem to be the solution. I just don't know if the player base would be able to, even if you could set up the infrastructure, if enough players would have access to the right accounts to be able to set that up.
Right. Remember, we used to do potlucks, right? Where everybody would spin at a certain time on a Wednesday night or whatever to get a matchup. So, that was definitely a community-driven thing. I agree with you. Maybe it's too big for Supercell's entire community to jump on board with. But you must admit, though, if you're in a Clash league, like you've been in VS, you get much better balance, and it feels like it's more, I'm going to say competitive, right? You have an equal chance of winning and losing. Oh,
yeah, of course. I mean, any kind of league stuff, you're all max Town Hall, and every hit is completely equal, and it's the gameplay at the pinnacle. And SCCWL with mixed Town Halls is just never that.
And then how does that compare to, say, our month in Champs 2? How did that compare to league play?
That's pretty similar. I mean, 15 versus 5, and the hit timers is obviously different, but
sure.
Yeah, once you get to Champs 2, it does feel like one big kind of league match. Just in that all the base designs are good. You get the one hit. Everything's so consequential. Everybody's good at attacking. Everybody's has good base designs. Everybody's max town hall with, if not max, like upgrade, heavily upgraded things. Yeah, which is why I like it. I mean, you do feel like you're at kind of like a higher plane of gameplay all around. What you're seeing, on base design, on attack strategy, all that stuff is really cool. And yeah, it feels a lot like that. I like SCCWL. I think it's really fun. It's a great setup for if you're max town hall. If you're not, then it's just kind of not for you, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately. Lolly, you handled, as I said before, you handled the roster this month because, just it was an inconvenient time for me, and I really, really appreciate that. What do you think Supercell could do to help us manage SCWL as leadership? I expect they think we might only play with 15 players and ship the rest of our clan off somewhere, but what do you think they could do to help us along? Or do you think it's okay?
Oh, that's a hard question, actually. Yeah, organise. I never really got involved in organising CWL. I remember MB used to do it in Army, and I have no idea how she did it. It's like herding cats, to be honest, trying to get everyone in the right places at the right time. So, I mean, obviously you put the roster together, and we had the 30, so generally everyone got kind of 5 to 6 wars, which everyone is happy with. So once we'd got everyone over to TGF, the 30 runs pretty well. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, if you've got a clan of 48, 49 like we have, it it's not quite enough really for running a 30 and a 15. Yeah, because not everyone wants to take part, so I don't know what they could do. I mean, thank goodness we've got Discord, because at least you can communicate with people if they can't take part on a certain day, then, or you need to swap somebody in because someone's ill, then yeah, at least you can contact them via Discord. So
same question, VS. What could Supercell do to kind of improve the managing of SCWL for clan leadership?
The same stuff they can do to help everything. I mean, it's been talked about on this podcast. I mean, improving the ability to communicate in game. Do more than clan mail. Maybe some kind of organizational tool that is in game where you can like set a roster in advance, kind of a thing. Like basically what we do in our announcement channels, where you say, "Here's going to be 2 days before you say, here's the CWL lineup." I mean, maybe it'd be too much to ask, but Supercell could put something like that where it's like a little feature where you're able to like set a lineup, and then it puts a little icon on people's games, where you go there and you kind of see where you are.
Yes.
I'm ignorant of this. Is 30 the max you can run in CCW on any league? Does it never go above 30?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's tough. I mean, that's tough, because Ollie said if you have a clan of 40 more, I mean, 50 people, that's strange. I mean, you're forced to move people, cut people, sit people, rotate people. So, yeah, it's not really set up, it seems like, for a large clan. And in terms of the ability to manage it, anything they would do, I think, would just kind of replicate what we're doing on Discord, which could be good because not everybody has Discord, and it could help some kind of clans that are on the fence of being organized enough to do this stuff to get it going, get some kind of organized thing going in their clan.
Yeah, you mentioned in the notes that you thought we should be able to run 30 people in champs. Could you maybe expound on that a little bit? I mean, we don't have qualifiers anymore for world championships, so maybe this is the time.
Yeah, I assume it just has to do with what the amount of. It has to do, I guess, with just it has to do with the amount of people that are playing each month. I'm guessing they just think they couldn't host 30 in champs, right?
I guess so. That must be.
I think also when they released it, they had maybe a different image in mind of how the qualifiers would work, so just changed it on the fly type of thing.
Yeah, I wasn't playing when it all came out, and I've heard people talk about when you used to be a champs one clan, it would get you into worlds or something. I wasn't playing for any of that period of time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really have much context in that.
And then my final thought is, I know it seems like we harp on SCWL an awful lot, but it is a stressful week for leadership. And, I would encourage you as a clan member to maybe get involved, just see if you can help it anyway. I mean, this month it was really great because we had VS keeping his eye on things. Cat herded the cats to TGF, and Lolly set the lineup. It felt more like a team effort. Although I still felt like it's less engaged when we're not in Redthorn, and I don't know why. It was all the same people doing all the same things. It just SCWL week. It just, I don't know. Feels like people aren't in game as much.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think a week's too long as well. That'd be nice. I actually wish they would, because they did do a set. They did do it once with 5 wars, didn't they? Instead of the 7.
Yes.
Yep.
And I actually preferred that. A week is really a long time. That's my opinion.
Especially with raid weekend ending up in every CWL week, right? Where if you do have to leave the clan because we're running only 15, there's a certain degree of in and outs. So yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Well, then you never know what they're going to give us in the spring update, and we do know that they're going to give us Builder Base 2.0. They're starting to leak a little bit of information about it. Stuart posted a short blog tease on upcoming changes, and I'll get your thoughts on this after I quickly run through them. A revamp to the 6th builder. When you reach Builder Hall 6, you will unlock Auto as a permanent second builder for the builder base. But what about the main village, you ask? Fear not. They're revamping that so you can unlock a 6th builder there as well. So you get to do tasks there. So they're going to be updating the quests at Builder Hall 9 so that you can unlock a permanent 6th builder for the home village. It'll be another robot builder that the master builder rebuilds and sends it over to the main village. Attacking, no more head-to-head versus battles. Instead, battles will be similar to attacking in the main village. You will be matched with another village in your trophy range with no nexting. For every star you earn in your attack, you'll earn builder gold, and you'll earn builder elixir based on how well you defend. So every star you defend, you'll get elixir for that. Are you guys excited? It's going to make you play builder base more, less, the same? Not at all.
Doesn't change my opinion too. I mean, I'll see how the gameplay is. Pretty focused on main base, but I don't want to be a hater. I'll try Builder Base 2.0. Maybe it'll be the cat's pajamas. But does it sound like that our auto? I mean, I'm pretty much max, but so it's not like a personal gripe. But does it sound like auto is getting taken away from, like, if you unlock 6 builder for your main base, and like you don't have them anymore, right? To work on your main base.
Well, he's going to go back home to live on the builder base, and
right.
You'll be able to unlock a new one.
Is there going to be some upset in the community about having their builder that they quote unquote earned with their hard work taken away?
I think that there will be, unless I haven't heard anything about them grandfathering the main village 6 builder. Peter, have you?
I thought I read that or heard that somewhere. Maybe it was from Itsu that if you've already unlocked it, nothing changes. You'll just automatically receive the second builder back in Builder Base 2 and your 6th robotic builder in home base. But it's for new people coming up that they will still be available to be unlocked. Yeah.
So the advice would be for if you're close to getting your 6th builder,
push hard now.
Push hard now before they drop the new update.
Yeah.
I guess so.
Lolly, what do you think?
I kind of, I think I read that through 3 times and I still didn't get it. So I'm a bit more of a doer. Wait, once it arrives, and I tend to do this with Clash, I let I kind of read the update bits, but I just wait till it comes, and then I get on with trying to learn what it is that's changed. So I'm like that in life, to be honest.
Yeah.
I just do it rather. I can't. Yeah, I couldn't get my head around what they were going on about. So
yeah, it was a little convoluted.
I know, because even though you've said that, I'm like, I still don't get it. But hey, it'll make sense when it drops.
It always does.
Yeah.
So do you guys think that Clash of Clans is in a good place right now? And why or why not? Yes?
I do. I think there's a lot of signs that point to the fact, I mean, certainly for a 10-year-old mobile game, it's doing really well. In general, there's a lot of signs, I think, that show that it's a healthy game, more or less. I do see in my bubble, and I know they were talking about it on the C2J podcast, some people that seem to be leaving the game because of how hard Town Hall 15 is. And I'll be honest, I'm not immune to it. I haven't really thought of quitting the game, but some wind has been taken out of my sails for sure. And I think that's natural. Like, I think I talked to you about it, Kat. It's just like psychology. If you remove, you do like psychological tests. If you remove the desired result from a subject getting a desired result, and you decrease it to a certain amount, you get to a threshold where the work that's done to receive the result, they'll stop doing it basically, or reduce the amount they're wanting to do it. And just from a psychological standpoint, I think the 3-star rate at 15 at least has to be low enough where that seems to be what's happening. And I know they say that officially Clash has said they're happy with 15, and that more or less the hit rate is kind of what they were hoping it would be, and I guess the pro community is happier about it. And so that seems to be at odds at what my common sense tells me, which is that something does need to be done to raise these hit rates. Like, offense needs to be buffed, defense needs to be nerfed, whatever needs to happen. But that desired result needs to be, the frequency needs to be upped a little bit. Because I think myself and a lot of others, anecdotally, seem to be just kind of getting burned out or bummed out, depending how you want to put it.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. That's the general feeling that I've gotten as well. Lolly?
Yeah, no, I agree, definitely. It is really hard, and it can be so frustrating. I'm always let my feelings known in chat. I'm a in-game chat person, and everyone knows if I'm having a bad day. I spend a lot of time, obviously, in Legends, and I try to get my attacks in, but I'm finding that Legends can be a bit repetitive, certainly with bases at the moment. I don't think the base meta is changing as quickly as it used to, but then VS is probably more pro than I am in terms of, because he does, I just see lots of the same bases, and I'd probably guess Legends has been like that for a while. So, is there the incentive to come up with new strategies as much at the moment because there haven't been any new troops? I don't know. I mean, it's still a fun game, definitely, but I can see within the clan that some people are finding it really hard. And it's kind of why I stick with bowlers. As much as I'm sure people go, so boring, why do you keep doing it? But if it's getting the result, if I stop getting anywhere close to 3 stars, I will stop playing, and I don't want to stop playing. So I kind of stick with what I know. I'm not as not like VS and try lots of different stuff, because there's some things I like. I think somebody has tried to get me to use the super archers, and there's just no way. I can't drop those spells as quick as you guys do, and I know that if I do it, I'll probably end up quitting. So I stick with super bowlers, and yeah, it'd be nice if that changed slightly and it did become you don't want it to become too easy, but I think it is really hard at the moment.
Yeah.
A quick note kind of a side topic, but Lolly brought up like base design being redundant in Legends, and that's certainly the case. I think that's been the case for a long time. You see like the same bases, but something I haven't heard anybody talk about, but I know like Lolly and I have talked a little bit about it in chat. When you get into high level CWL or high level Legends or league matches, it seems like, what is it? It's got to be 80+% of the bases are those box style bases with the offset town hall. And they're all different. They all have their own little take, but it is like, I mean, you'll watch some 5v5 pro matches on, Clash with Eric or something. All 10 of the bases will essentially be box bases. And I don't think anybody's really talking about it, but I've done the same thing with these league matches. I'll go to these league matches. I'll go to look at my 5 options, and 5 out of 5 are a different version of the same spread out box bases. And I run them too, because I think it's like what you're supposed to run. I guess they're the only thing that can defend some of these, a lot of the meta attacks. But it seems to me, I remember at 14, there was a period where they were like, oh, everybody uses box bases, too many box bases. To me, right now at 15, it seems worse than it ever was at 14 to me.
Definitely. Have you found what works yet?
Well, they were a lot of people were having a lot of success with what you were trying, the Zap Titan Smash, but then of course the base builders, I guess, have more or less learned how to defend against that
Yeah.
recently. So I don't know. I mean, the pros can still beat those bases with Blizzard Lalo and Queen Charge Lalo and Queen Charge Hybrid, where they charge right into the Town Hall box and funnel
Mhm.
both sides, and then they drive their Queen right into the middle of the base and take out both multis. But I don't know. I mean, that's obviously very high level stuff that most casuals are not able to replicate.
Yeah.
And you were saying about the decreased hit rates for the everyday player. I think they could distract us with just some shiny new toys, right? A new Super Troop, maybe a tweak to something else. A level on miners or something might renew interest in hybrid at Town Hall. Maybe a healer level would allow people to do a little more queen charging and not upset the balance too much for the pros, but give the everyday player a little more stuff to play with and maybe keep our interest. So we're not, stuck in a rut like I am with E-Titan Smash and Lolly with Super Boulder Smash, where we have, some success, but more success than we've had with anything else. We're reluctant to change away from it. Maybe give us something new to play with.
Yeah,
That might be an answer.
Definitely would love to see a new level on healers. I think with all the new Town Hall 15 defenses, they could use a bit of a buff.
Yeah, Queen Walk needs some help. I think even the pros. I mean, they're good at they can still do it, but they're having some trouble too. Where you see some good looking Queen charges that just don't pan out even for the pros.
Mm-hmm. For sure. So let's jump into shoutouts. Lolly, do you have any shoutouts for us today?
Am I allowed more than one?
Of course.
Yes.
Well, I'd like to shout out to Shark. Because I think he's probably one of our newest members and he's so sweet in chat. He's always seems really happy and he makes an effort to chat. So I always like that in a new member because I do love in-game chat myself. Another shout out goes to Droogie. I would just keep trying, Droogie. It will get better, and bless him, he keeps on trying new stuff, and I know how hard that must feel, and he keeps coming back. And the last one is to Redbeard, just because he's completely bonkers in chat as well. So half the time, I don't even know what he's going on about. But I usually have that finger pointed at me. So if he deflects from the fact that nobody understands my English most of the time, then yeah. But he says he's part Irish, so it that's probably why. But he's always fun.
Awesome. Yes?
I was also going to shout out Redbeard, actually. That guy, he's a good addition to the clan. He's a good hitter. He's a really good dude. And his way of talking in chat is unlike any I've ever seen before. It's kind of like you're reading a book, and he narrates his own thoughts.
Yes, he does.
It's a lot of punctuation. I don't even know how he really does it so fast, but it's super unique. And also he and I have DM'd a lot, or a good bit about our personal lives and stuff, and I think we got a lot in common. So he's a really good force in the clan. Enjoy having him. Also, Royd Ragens, my buddy, always helpful, really good hitter, positive force in the clan.
Mm-hmm.
Reached out to help about CWL and stuff behind the scenes, and really good dude. And then just everybody in Red Thorn, still the best clan around, I think, in terms of we have great activity, we have great members, everybody stays positive. We got a lot of talent in the clan, but it's really not about that necessarily. We just got a good friendly dynamic. And then last shout out is to Lolly for always having a new extremely British term or phrase in chat that I haven't heard in years. That is just so Lolly.
Oh dear.
Awesome. Peter, what about you?
I'd like to shout out the Hold My Socks crew. Those guys know who they are, and I'm going to say kudos to Craigers again.
Mysterious shoutouts.
Oh, and also shout out to Cool Rick for winning the 12 match and beating me, you jerk.
My shout out goes to Red Thorn's newest member and one of my Marvel buddies, Ace.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Always so positive and friendly. It's great to have him with us. And to Darth Yoda and the guys at SOG for organizing the Spring Champs tournament. I'm looking forward to seeing which team comes out on top. It was a lot of fun being on voice with them all on Friday night, listening to you guys attack. Ace was in awe of Whip's hit there. So shout out to all of them. And thank you everyone for listening. The CFF is a family of clans in games such as Clash of Clans, Clash Royale, and many of the other Supercell games. We love to provide content via podcasts and other media. You can visit the Clash Files Discord to apply to any of our clans or to support our pods and events. As always, please send us your comments, ideas, and questions on Twitter at RedThornsCOC or join the Clash Files Discord at discord.gg/clashfiles.